It's time for you to witness the symbiotic dragon god. Have we gone too far? Hey comic book fans, welcome back to Comic Book Corner 2.0, and fans, you're back with me, Mike Spider Slayer, getting ready to do that all-important comic book review so you, the fans, can make a decision on what comic books to buy. And will you buy Venom issue 2, otherwise known by legacy numbering 167. That's right, guys. Last issue was a great introduction by Donny Cates and Ryan Stegman, who does the artwork. I thought it was a very dark book. Eddie Brock's going through some problems. The symbiote's acting weird. It's saying some weird language stuff that pronounces like God is coming, and then we got to see this like dragon monster at the end of the last issue, and we get to meet this new character by the name of Rick Strickland. So who is that dude? So a little bit more of your questions get answered here in this particular issue, okay? So again, the book is written by Donny Cates, and Ryan Stegman does the artwork. Now, there is spoilers in this book, so be prepared. If you haven't read your issue, come back after you read it, and then we can discuss it, okay? Ryan Stegman's artwork is second to none in this book, man. It is awesome. It is so dark. The colors are so... Oh, it just fits the tone of the book, the way that this book is. The beginning of this book is awesome as well, as we just get to see Eddie Brock basically come back from the dead, and you get to see the symbiote rework its insides. The way Stegman did this, it was phenomenal. And when you get to see this symbiotic dragon monster or god, the creature just looks menacing in here, and the facial expressions are really good, and just everything about the story looked great. Now, was the story good? Was this symbiotic dragon god cheesy, or was the way Donny Cates wrote it, did it make it interesting? Well, let's recap the story a little bit, then I'll give you my final thoughts on what I thought. So, first things first is, at the end of the last issue, we wound up seeing that this dragon monster escapes from this truck. It stripped these army men that Brock was going to rescue of their symbiotes, and the dragon flew off, and Eddie Brock is just left for dead. And so what happens is you see his other actually repair him. He had a big hole in his chest, and slowly you get to see the inner workings of how it's being repaired, or how he's being repaired, and how he gets brought back to life. And you get to see, at the same time this is going on, we get to see Rick Strickland doing research on Eddie, because when he recruited him, he knew really nothing about him. So this was a really good way, an inventive way, of learning about Eddie's past and getting the current new character getting to know Eddie at the same time. So it's like killing two birds with one stone. So really well done here. I give him a lot of credit. And so once you see Eddie wake up, then the real story begins. We wind up seeing Eddie go back to Rick Strickland's place, and he sits there and he wants answers, okay? And all of a sudden there's this rage that's coming on, that crazy demonic beast that takes over Eddie Brock was coming out. And what happens is Rick Strickland winds up throwing flames at the symbiote, and it winds up gaining control once again. So what happens is Eddie Brock tells him the story. He's like, this is what happened. He's like, there's this beast that flew out of the van. It took your men's symbiotes, and it's crazy. And Rick Strickland's like, oh my God, I thought this thing was dead. And so what happens now is Rick Strickland gives you a great insight of what happened when he lost all his men, and basically, you know, how he got the symbiotes. And basically what happens is he was the leader of his group. His people were getting picked off by a sniper. And what happens is, to keep the rest of his platoon alive, he winds up taking the bullets. And what happens is, in order to keep him alive, Nick Fury rescued him. and they basically gave him an ultimatum. It's like, here, take this symbiotic, suit or die. And so what happens is he takes this symbiote, but the symbiote suit is from this beast that they captured. Now, we don't know how this beast really was captured yet, or the inner workings of the beast or whatnot, but we get to see when Rick Strickland got this symbiotic suit, he felt the presence of this symbiotic dragon god, and it was all powerful. It was overwhelming. It was insane. And when you see the face of this beast, it's just so menacing and so powerful in so many ways. And you get to see a great 2-page spread on this creature, and it is just absolutely amazing. And so what happens is this beast is starting to attack the city, and the only person on the scene at this point is Spider-Man. However, when you think that it is Spider-Man, it's not Peter Parker Spider-Man, it's actually Miles Morales. And you get to see Eddie leave Rick Strickland, and he wants to help, and you see him on a building, and you see in the distance this big, symbiotic dragon god, and then Miles Morales is there too, and let the battle begin. And that's basically how the issue ended. So what did I think about this story? It's not cheesy in any way, shape, or form. The way Donny Cates writes this book is so amazing. It is a great story to be told here when it comes to Rick Strickland. He makes him an interesting character on how he got his symbiote, his battle, what he saw when he got possession of the piece of that dragon god. The inner workings of how Eddie Brock got to life was absolutely amazing. And the way Donny Cates probably described it to Ryan Stegman was like, okay, you want to do this and you want to do that. And it was just amazingly told story. So you got to see backstory of Strickland, Brock, and you got to see a little bit of the symbiotic dragon god. It was just really awesome, and it just leaves you with this great cliffhanger of wanting to know more about this creature, and how is Eddie going to deal with this situation, and how is he going to team up with Miles Morales. I don't think this is really something we've seen recently or at all in this universe. So this is a great book. This is probably, so far, it's only 2 issues, but one of the best Venom stories I've actually read at to this point. And I'm going to give this book a 5 out of 5 stars. This was great, and I'm on board for a symbiotic dragon god. What do you guys think? So guys, leave me your comments below on what you thought of Venom issue number 2. What do you think about the creature? What do you think about the story? And fans, if you like this video, give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe to the channel and hit that notification button so you don't miss a single video from me. And guys, until that next comic book review, this is Mike Spider Slayer signing off, and I'll see you real soon. Take care, everybody. Pick this one up.